If you're a homeowner, you know squatters can be a nightmare. What makes things worse is that the information around how to get rid of squatters and sell your property can be vague. In this video guide, we answer all your big questions on squatting. What is squatting? Squatting is when someone deliberately enters property without permission and lives there, or intends to live there. This is sometimes known as adverse possession. As such, anyone who originally enters a property with the permission of the landlord is not a squatter. So for example, if you're renting a property and fall behind with rent payments, you're not squatting if you continue to live there. What is the difference between squatting and trespassing? Though people may often confuse squatting and trespassing, they're actually two different things. Trespassing, entering someone's land or property without permission, is a legal offence, whereas squatting, which means moving into an abandoned or unused house, is a civil issue, providing no other laws are broken. What is the law surrounding squatters? Squatting in a residential building like a house or flat is illegal. It can lead to 6 months in prison or a £5,000 fine, or both. Although squatting in non-residential buildings or land is not in itself a crime, it's a crime to damage the property. It is also usually a crime not to have land or property when you're instructed to do so by the owner, the police, the council, or a repossession order. What is the law regarding squatters in commercial property? A non-residential property is any building or land that is not designed to be lived in. Simply being on another person's non-residential property without their permission is not usually a crime. Police can, however, take action if squatters commit other crimes when entering or staying in a property. Crimes include causing damage when entering the property, causing damage while in the property, not leaving when they're told to by a court, stealing from the property, using utilities like electricity or gas without permission, fly tipping, not obeying a noise abatement notice. What rights do squatters have? A long-term squatter can become the registered owner of property or land they've occupied without the owner's permission. What are the rules for squatters to be able to apply to become the registered owner of property or land? You can apply to become the registered owner of a property or land you've squatted on if you can prove that you have occupied the property continuously for 10 years, or 12 if the land's not registered with the land registry, that you've acted as the owner of the property for the whole of that time, and that you did not have the owner's permission to be in the property. So for example, you were not originally renting it. How do you stop squatters legally possessing property? The land registry will tell you if squatters apply for legal ownership of your property. If it's registered, you must take action if you want to keep it. How you block an application depends on whether your property is registered with the land registry or not. When it comes to registered properties, you have 65 days to object to an application. The land registry will tell you exactly what you need to do. The land registry will also reject the squatter's application if you've got a valid objection. If they do reject it, you must take action immediately to remove the squatters and reclaim your property once the squatter's claim is rejected. You will not be able to reject again if you've done nothing within 2 years of the original application and the same squatters reapply. How do you remove squatters? You can remove squatters using an interim possession order, an IPO, or making a claim for possession. Do not try removing the squatters yourself using force or the threat of force. You're committing a crime if you do. Get legal advice from a solicitor if you need help making a claim for possession. You can only apply for an IPO if it's been 28 days or less since you found out your property has been squatted. Fill in an application for an IPO online and send it to your local county court. The court will then send your confirmation of your IPO within a few days. They will also send you documents that you must give to the squatters within 48 hours. After being served with an IPO, squatters can be sent to prison if they do not leave your property within 24 hours and then stay away from your property for 12 months. To get final possession of the property, you must make a claim for possession. You can do this on your IPO application form or separately online. There are some exceptions to this. You cannot use an IPO if you're making a claim for damages caused by the squatters. Instead, you should make an ordinary claim for possession. You also can't use an IPO if you're trying to evict former tenants, subtenants, or licensees. How do you sell a property with squatters? Having squatters living in your property devalues it considerably. If you want to realise the property's full value, then you have to go through the eviction process and wait until you achieve vacant possession, at which point you may want to spend some money cleaning and redecorating the property, particularly if the squatters have done significant damage. You would then look to list it with an estate agent or property auction. This can, however, be a lengthy and costly process, and achieving vacant possession is not guaranteed. Alternatively, you can look to sell the property with squatters in place. This can be difficult. There's a limited market for squatted properties, as most house buyers don't want to take on the hassle and risk associated with eviction, and most end users won't consider them for the same reasons. You also need a cash buyer, as squatted properties are unmortgageable. One option to consider is selling to a cash house buyer like Gaffsy. Gaffsy specialises in purchasing property with squatters. We possess an abundance of expertise at purchasing squatted homes and have a highly regarded team of professionals able to transact speedily on our behalf, ensuring an easy and convenient process for you. As cash buyers, if you accept our offer, we can purchase your property in as little as 7 days on a timeframe that suits you. So visit our website or give us a call today to get the ball rolling.